As many, I'm sure, are already aware, yesterday was quite the day and night over at Furaffinity and at Furaffinity's Twitter page. It seems the host, I guess, for Furaffinity, Net Soul Cares, had left a vulnerability and was informing Furaffinity staff they would not be able to fix it or patch it for 24 to 48 hours. And this is where a cadre of what can only be described as burned furs jumped in to try and cause chaos. Now, I say burned furs because, ironically, I was working on a two-part video series having to do with the origin of burned furs and how they basically evolved into anti-furries dating back from 1996 to present. And essentially, for those who may be unaware, the burned fur is someone who is, in fact, a furry, continues to participate in the fandom, but whether it be because of jealousy or because they don't like not safe for work or adult content, or homophobic, or whatever the case may be, they'll trim down their expectation of what the fandom should be and typically refer to something as like the golden age of the fandom, where it should revert back to a simpler time. Oh, and real quick shout out before I forget to my new secret admirer that I seem to have picked up, Anton Drakov. Yeah, I see you, buddy, trying really hard to get my attention. So in recognition of all your efforts, I am going to give you this acknowledgement real quick, and that's it. However, I am not interested in doing that with you. Sorry. You are welcome to share whatever you would like to share. Obviously, I made that information available purposefully, but you and I won't be interacting. Anyway, back on topic. In this case, the burned furs seem to be some kind of an amalgamation of far-right, Trump-supporting, Elon Musk simping, extra-Orthodox Christian, homophobic furries. You're trying to wrap your mind around that. Some screenshots will continue to play from last night's participants and some of their associates. And while there were certainly people involved who were cheering on what was happening that seemed to have no clear ties to the fandom, a lot of the participants had personas and reference sheets while insisting that they were not furries. They were interacting with other furries, had ink bunny pages and things of that nature. Oh, and a lot of them seemed to actually be Nazis. And I mean literal Nazis. When Null Bulge identified the main attacker, she was found to be a furry cat girl with some kind of membership or association in a Nazi party and modified Nazi flags, and she was also posting a lot of extremely racist and homophobic comments throughout the night. There's some screenshots of those here as well. Some of the highlights of the night included informing the audience that black people were not in fact humans, they were monkeys, that Hispanic people were inferior, while reminding us to vote for Donald Trump repeatedly. There was also a generous dose of anti-Semitic commentary, and at one point they made a parallel account to impersonate the Islamic State and started making fun of Muslims. So pretty much they made their hatred known of everyone who wasn't a Trump-supporting, far-right, borderline Nazi, Christian conservative. A lot of homophobia throughout the night, and at one point they, for some reason, took particular exception to a HIV testing area at a furry convention. Overall, when challenged, they would try and redirect to portray this as some kind of noble endeavor to protect the children from Dragoneer, who's dead, and I guess people that he used to associate with. So I'm not really sure what their overall goal was in all of this. But as previously stated by Furaffinity staff, in a relatively short amount of time, when their host works with them, they'll put everything back to normal, tighten up security, and I'm sure in the coming days and weeks, a lot of interesting, bizarre fallout will come out of this. But once again, furry drama shook the internet, as this was one of the top trending things on Twitter all throughout the night and into the morning. This is probably the 10th time that Furaffinity has found itself in the middle of this kind of stuff. But moving forward, they're definitely going to have to tighten up their security and protect the legacy and archived information that's on that site, about 20 years worth at this point. And also a big, huge thank you to Null Bulge for stepping in and trying to protect the community. Much appreciated. You guys are awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching.